I really wish I had my hammer.
Hammer?
Quite unique. It was made from this special metal from the heart of a dying star. And when I spun it really, really fast, it gave me the ability to fly.
You rode a hammer?
No, I didn't ride the hammer.
The hammer rode you on your back?
No. I used to spin it really fast, and it would pull me off the...
Oh my god, the hammer pulled you off.
Three Films and a Podcast has no claim of ownership on any film footage used in this episode. All film footage is owned in its entirety by the copyright holders and is used solely with the intent of film criticism, commentary, and education under fair use law. And just like every car in Too Fast, Too Furious, this podcast contains spoilers. Enjoy. Hello and welcome to another episode of Three Films and a Podcast, the podcast with three friends who try to watch three new movies as much as possible and talk about it, and we report back on it here. Right. Both of those friends are with me today. First, we have Matt Weiler, who is down in Pleasant Grove.
What's up?
Is his audio on? I couldn't tell. I don't want to look down and ruin it. I was like, I don't know if his audio's on.
Takes a while for your voice to travel down to Pleasant Grove.
Yeah, that's right.
I get it. I'm going to do that one more time. Good. The first of those is Matt Weiler, who is with us down from Pleasant Grove.
What's up?
And then we have Tyler, who is one of three people representing Portland on the pod tonight.
Hello. It's nice to be here again.
Back again as usual. We have two guests with us who are here for the first time, Ethan Simmie and Austin Davis, who are from the Final Take podcast. Thanks you guys so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, do you guys want to talk a little bit about yourselves or your pod, kind of, let people know what the Final Take pod's all about?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start, Austin. Austin and I, we are coworkers. We work together, and we're friends. We worked together for quite a while, and essentially, we both like to talk about movies. And we were like, how do we do this without only ourselves? And so we started a podcast a year ago, and
nice.
Final Take. Essentially, it's we get together once a week and we give our final take on movies and new releases when they come out, and then in the meantime, everything else. It's really just a conversation podcast every week. That's just talking movies.
For sure. Do you guys have a certain structure in which you pick the movies you do, or is it just case by case? I don't know, Austin. You want to? I couldn't figure it out by listening to your episodes.
Yeah. So it goes pretty simple. It is, hey Ethan, what do we want to talk about next week?
Okay.
Super scientific method. I like it.
Yeah.
So that did evolve to having some type of list, actually, on a notes thing that we just kind of add on to.
Oh, cool.
Right.
Yeah. But sometimes we're we're just gonna switch it up, audible here, and we're just gonna do something else next week. So
that's rad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening.
It's cool.
To one of the most recent episodes, and it kicked me back to the beginning for you guys. So it kicked me to the 1917 one. So yeah, just I like that idea. That's just hey, when we could go to theaters, let's go to a theater and watch something, and then let's talk about it. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the last movie that we actually saw in a theater together was Downhill. Is that correct, Austin?
No.
That proves my memory.
What was it?
I think it was The New Mutants.
Oh yeah, The New Mutants.
You guys saw it in theaters. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
or Tenet. It was one of the two. I think New Mutants came after.
Yeah, the episode I listened to yesterday, you had just talked about seeing Tenet during this pandemic. So
yeah,
I can't even remember the last time I was in a theater. I really don't remember the last movie I saw in theater, and I'm kind of having a crisis about it right now.
I think it was Space Jam.
Space Jam, yeah.
With my grandpa.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, Matt and I were able to, luckily enough, to go see Tenet at a drive-through. Well, I can't even talk right now. Sorry, at a drive-in theater here in Salt Lake. So that was kind of surreal, it's been so long since he and I used to go see every Marvel, every Star Wars movie. We would reserve a row and his friends would come, and so now it's just can't really do that anymore. But luckily that one chance came up. But man, I can't wait to get back into a theater and just pay for super expensive food. That's all I want to do. I'll pay 3 times the price. Right? Just make it safe. Yeah.
Popcorn tastes better when it when it hurts to buy.
Yes, exactly. Oh yes, I want $12 worth of popcorn, please. That'd be great.
I miss it so much. I have my Avengers Endgame like collector's cup.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, that's
great.
awesome.
Recapture the memory.
That's so cool. I
love it.
Now I think let's just get started with the draft. Let's
do it.
get into this battle royale. You know,
I'm not ready.
for people who are unfamiliar with a movie draft, we are doing the MCU. I don't even know if I said that at the beginning. We're doing the MCU movie draft.
There'll be a title.
Now that you're 20 minutes in, this is the MCU movie draft.
This is what we're doing.
So we got 5 people. We're going to do 4 rounds. We got 23 movies to choose from. So I think it's going to get cutthroat that last round, which I'm already super excited for. But yeah, snake format 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we'll repeat that. We were going to figure out the order right now. Let's see if Tyler can go 3 for 3 on going first. Okay, Austin, Ben, Ethan, Matt, Tyler. Let's randomize. Okay, number 1, Austin.
Nice.
Number 2.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
It's rigged. I think he set this up. Number 2 is Matt. Number 3 is Ethan. Number 4 is me. And for the first time, Tyler bringing up the rear here. Number 5.
Yeah, but I still got those back-to-back picks. So
I know. Those are nice to have. So
I'm okay with it.
Austin, Matt, Ethan, me, Tyler.
If any of you assholes steal the movie I want in this first round,
Too
I will be
late.
so nice to you.
Too late.
I will respect that choice. But I will hate it. Okay, Austin, let's hear it.
All right. Well, I guess
Dark World. Do I just type that in right now?
No.
Got it. Dark World. Let's move on. Next.
I'm actually just gonna, go with Avengers: Infinity War.
What are you doing?
Taking your pod. No, you're not. You will not be taking our pod today, sir.
Well, are you making your voice deeper?
No, you are. You're imitating the God-Man. It's weird.
No, I'm not.
He just did it again.
This is my voice.
That's
Nice.
my
Son of a
number
bitch.
1.
I love it.
I'm the fan of the twist endings for most movies, and that ending, that's why I picked that one over Endgame.
Yeah, that's my favorite of those two also, for
Yeah, I
sure.
think it's a great choice.
That's a great choice. I am going to follow that up with just the very first Avengers movie.
Dr. Banner. Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry.
Okay.
Nice.
Taking the Avengers.
I like that.
Nice.
I need to revisit that. I haven't watched that in a very long time, but I mean, I feel like everyone was super excited about that one.
Not the spy movie from 1998, but the superhero movie.
Not Uma Thurman. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Robert Downey, not Uma Thurman. Okay, I'll make a note of that.
Easy mistake to make.
It happens. Okay, Ethan, what you got?
Listen, this really puts me in a pickle here because being in this third pick, if I there's a lot of good movies out there, and I feel like I'm gonna botch it one way or another.
Well, if you take mine, you get
Boo did, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, go ahead. Let's
He's
see
not
what
as
you
nice
got.
as I am.
Well, okay, so I'm just gonna go with my gut and think what would I want to just like flip on if I'm in the mood for a Marvel movie, and it's got to be Thor Ragnarok.
You son of a bitch.
Made of rocks, as you can see, but don't let that intimidate you. You don't need to be afraid unless you're made of scissors. Just a little rock, paper, scissors joke for you.
Hell yes.
I'll accept that.
I think that movie redefined Thor, but like redefined what the MCU could be and could do in terms of humor and cinematography. And Taika is
You
is
get
a god.
Taika, man. You get Taika and my favorite Avenger. I'm so mad at you. Why'd we invite these guys?
I mean, they did something right. Thank goodness.
You get the Matt Damon scene.
Oh yeah, you do. Which is awesome. Like I remember hearing an interview with him when someone asked, like, why did you play the Led Zeppelin song multiple times? Like, if you paid for the rights, why not play it multiple times?
Yeah.
Like movies only play songs once. Like if I have Led Zeppelin, I'm gonna play it a lot. I can't fight that. That
Plus,
totally
it's
makes
badass.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
That opening scene is he's just like swinging around like, oh wait, hold on, like
Hold on.
I just sit here and we're just gonna quote Ragnarok the rest of the time. I'm happy to report that I'm still friends with all of you now because I was able to pick mine. Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
I knew it.
I am
Well, that's just as fascinating as the first 89 times you told me that. What is wrong with Tree here?
Well, he don't know talking good like me and you. So his vocabularistics is limited to I and am and Groot. Exclusively in that order.
Nice.
That's gonna be my first pick. Man, that movie, I distinctly remember I went and watched it in theaters by myself, and then I actually went over to Tyler's house with some other friends, and I just couldn't stop talking about it, and I think I convinced all of you to go watch it with me the next day because I remember us all going to the theater to see that. I'm fairly positive. I'm pretty sure you were still here, right? Were you still here? Or were you
Honestly,
down in Austin at that point?
I feel like I'm being like gaslit or something because I'm like, I don't remember.
You were there. I remember. I've
never seen Guardians of the Galaxy.
I don't know what we're talking about, but yeah. Anyways, I love that movie so much, so I'm ecstatic that it's still here at the spot. So
I feel so bad that I don't
great.
remember a piece of one of my best friend's memory.
it's all right. It's in my head. Maybe it's just like Inception. Someone planted it there.
I remember
Tyler was there. But.
I think it's because I took my mom to see it. We all wanted to go see a movie as a family, and like my dad loves like action movies and she doesn't, but I was like, I think she'll like this, and she did. So that's my big memory with Guardians of the Galaxy.
To be fair though, I remember like I talked about us going to see Dark Knight together, which we didn't do. So I think if I just like if I love a movie, I was like, I think I saw this.
Tyler was
there. I remember seeing that. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's the cutest thing you've ever said to me.
Yeah, just always popping up in my thoughts. So.
All right. Well, what am I going to do?
Back to back.
Literally, almost all the movies I wanted to take this round are gone. There are a couple good ones, though. I'm just having a hard time deciding. But I just remembered I get 2 in a row.
Yes, you do. Let's hear that burner.
I am going to take, for my first pick, I'm going to take Civil War.
All right. I've run out of patience. On to Ruse! Nice job, kid.
Thanks. Well, I could have stuck the landing a little better. It's just a new suit. Wait, it's nothing. Mr. Stark, it's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't really need to start a conversation.
Okay. Captain? Big fan of Spider-Man?
Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Just...
Hey, everyone.
Good job.
Nice.
Solid pick.
That was actually the first one that popped into my head, and I always forget that it wasn't like an Avenger movie.
Yeah.
You know? Because they at a certain point, they all just seem like Avenger movies, right?
Yeah.
And that's the first time we get Spider-Man, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I'm like, I feel
First
like
time we get Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah, we get all sorts of cool stuff. And I liked the tension between Cap and Iron Man. I thought it was a cool moral debate. So yeah, I'll take Civil War for the first one.
Cool.
Wait, before you move on, when we drop this, we're gonna have a poll come up on Instagram about whose side you're on with the Civil War. So I think it's best to ask Austin and Ethan, whose side are you on?
Oh, yeah.
That's tough. So I also run another podcast called 15 Minutes of Marvel, and I have a new show coming out tomorrow where I am talking about Civil War.
Oh,
nice.
Which is the strangest thing. And that's the question of the show.
Great.
So I'll drop a little preview.
Love it.
I'd have to go with Team Iron Man. I feel like
Man.
I can't answer everything right. I mean, come on, put me in a pressure cooker here.
Let the man have an opinion, Matt.
I can't. I just morally, I can't be a vigilante. I can't know that I'm against the law. I can't know that I'm running from powers that be. It's just something wrong with me. So I'd have to go Team Iron Man.
Fair enough.
I think this becomes a debate of logic or lawfully good and lawfully bad, and this is where I'm gonna have to side with Cap on it. You know, yes, it's all the accords and all that stuff. Yes, it makes sense, but I'd much rather go on Cap's side. You gotta have the ability to be flexible.
For sure. So I agree with that. I would pick Cap's side for those reasons, but all of my favorite Avengers are on Iron Man's side. So I'm like, I don't know, man. Like,
I really having a party over there, and I want to be.
I want to be on Spider-Man's team. I don't know. Like,
Let's have a truce real quick. Yeah, just a party.
I don't know. I get to hang out with Vision and Black Widow. I don't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I guess I'm going Team Iron Man.
Cool.
Ben, wait, Ben, what team are you? Please don't say Team Cap.
Team Steve Rogers is what I am. 100%. Yeah, I'm with him.
Now you'll be happy to know that this is an ongoing debate in like my wife's family, and they're all Iron Man people. They're all Tony Stark, so you're in good company.
Yeah,
we actually just
they're just not here though right now.
Yeah, they can't back you up. You're outnumbered.
They can't protect you.
Just know they exist.
They're out there. Yeah, we just did a Blade trilogy episode, and that question came up about where we think Blade would have ended up, but we'll just leave that out there as a mystery until, even though this is going to come out after that was done, so it doesn't even matter. But
well, just in case, maybe we'll switch up the schedule.
That's true.
Know.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's hear number 2.
So my second pick, who? I'm gonna take Black Panther.
God damn it!
Yeah.
I'm very happy for you.
Gotta take Black Panther. T'Challa, my king.
Chadwick, man.
I don't know really what else to say about it. I remember I heard a take after it came out. Someone was talking about it, and they just said, like, I feel like if it wasn't for the racial thing, no one would like this movie. And I just, like,
what?
I couldn't wrap my head around that for a million different reasons, but I was just like, what are you like, it's such a fucking cool movie. It's like, the villain's cool, like, the world that they live in and you get exposed to is incredible.
Yeah, talk about world building. Holy shit. That's amazing.
The way his armor works and the way he gets his power, like, the fact that it's, like, you know, tribal and passed down through generations is like, what are you talking about? This is incredible storytelling in a comic book movie. So, Black Panther was my number 2 pick.
Yeah, we have a friend of ours that actually hates the movie. We did like a hot takes episode, and we had him on, and he was like, "I hate this movie."
Wow.
Yeah.
Guess what? Hasn't been on the show since.
I wonder why.
No longer friends.
Well, now that I declared on Team Cap, I don't know if I'll be able to come on or not. We'll see. It's like, oh, sorry, we're busy.
Busy forever.
Man, damn it, that's a good pick. All right, shit. I have 2 I really want, but I have to go with my gut here. I'm going with Winter Soldier.
Oh.
I think
that's a good one.
I love Civil War. I love Spider-Man. Like, that movie's so good, but I think Winter Soldier, for me, is like beat for beat the best MCU movie. Like, it's
so good.
It's not my favorite. Guardians is my favorite, but Civil War to me is just like, and I mean, it's where we met the Russo brothers, and like we like got an idea of what they were going to be doing for the next like 4 or 5 years. We meet Falcon. Like, I don't know. I love that movie. I think it's amazing. So I'm going to lock in with Winter Soldier.
Well done.
All right, my turn.
It's all you.
Man. Okay, well, I can't believe it dropped this far, but you know, I'm gonna have to go with Endgame. That's like one of my favorite movies. Probably my all-time favorite movie going experience of all time.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So great.
Yeah.
And I do think that I feel like it's bigger than the sum of its parts because it's such a culmination of the 10 years like building up to it.
For sure.
And we finally get to see it happen is pretty amazing. You know, and kind of the antithesis to Infinity War. We get the ending that we want and kind of that we want, but
yeah, for sure. And it like they wrapped it all up so well. It's really hard to end things, as we've seen recently with a lot of different stuff. You know, we talked about Breaking Bad. They happen to be able to end there as well. And I feel like, you know, Endgame had the same effect. And it also is the type of movie that is the antithesis to what I normally feel, and that it's like, that's like the movie where it's appropriate to cheer. Like, if you don't cheer in the theater, like,
something's wrong with you.
Then like, yeah, because normally I hate, you know, I don't like people cheering or whatever in movies. It's, you know, silly, but in that movie it was like totally appropriate, and it like added to the experience for me. Like,
oh my god, yeah, Cat picking up Mjolnir and just like,
yeah,
holy shit,
the place went
like,
bananas.
What is happening
awesome.
right now? This is, oh my god, it was so good.
so many feels in that movie.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, solid pick. Can't complain about that. Matt?
Well, those Winter Soldier and Endgame were my next 2 picks, so good job, guys. I will have to go with, since I'll take the sloppy seconds with Guardians 2.
Okay. Nice.
I love that sequel still. It's one of my favorite sequels. And just like the first one, I found myself listening to that soundtrack all the time.
For sure.
I thought Kurt Russell was a great addition. And yeah, Guardians 2.
Guardians 2 is where we get the send off for why am I blanking on his name? Yeah.
That was a really
the scavenger
cool
funeral.
Yeah.
A lot more Mantis, which is
tears were shed
for sure.
And
Mary Poppins, y'all.
Oh my god, that line is so good. And I just love the whole Drax, like, you can't see me. I'm not moving. Like, that whole scene's like, oh my god, it's so funny. Like, he's cast perfectly in that role. Like,
absolutely.
Oh my god, he's a huge reason that's my favorite movie out of the MCU. All right, Austin, back-to-back picks.
All right, let's see here. I think I gotta go very beginning. Gotta do Iron Man.
I knew you were gonna pick Iron Man, Austin. I was just waiting for it to happen.
That was literally my number 3 pick.
I almost took that over Panther. Almost.
I mean, it started it all. Like that's, I don't know. It has a special part. Like it's a good movie overall. Like Jon Favreau. I mean, we literally just talked about Jon Favreau.
Say no more.
Yeah.
Say no more.
He just knows how to do movies.
He does.
I mean, I was gonna say, like, I listened to your guys' episode and I was just like appalled that Iron Man didn't win like that poll. Cause like, you guys, that movie set off the MCU. Like, I love Mandalorian. Chef is amazing. I only get like Cubans now whenever I go to a sandwich place because of that movie.
For real.
I was like, Iron Man set off the entire MCU. I was just like, I couldn't believe everyone didn't win hands down. But you know, whatever, it's each their own. But my vote was for Iron Man for sure.
Understandable. I guess going with my next one then is going to be probably Spider-Man Homecoming.
Ooh, you're trying to make Ben cry here.
Yeah.
Chill.
Come on!
What happened to your voice?
What do you mean, what happened to my voice?
I heard you by the bridge. I know what a girl sound like.
I'm not a girl, I'm a boy. I mean, I'm a man.
I don't care what you are, boy, girl.
I'm not a girl, I'm a man. Come on, man, look, who is selling these weapons? I need to know, give me names or else.
You ain't never done this before, huh?
Deactivate interrogation mode.
Speaking of Civil War, I did tear up. We got Spider-Man in there. I recently rewatched that. Michael Keaton is so goddamn good.
Apparently, I heard that he would like do like his little fight scenes with him, and he would like whisper to Tom Holland that he was Batman.
I love that so much.
That's great.
That's so good.
Oh man. Well, I would have taken Homecoming first as well, but I'm gonna have to roll with Far From Home. Take a Spidey flick myself.
So good.
Shucks.
Jake Gyllenhaal. And again,
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Maggie done it better.
Oh my god, I want Maggie Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. It's so bad. Oh, I love that.
I really like in Far From Home. I feel like that was really, because I think originally that was dedicated to be like the first Phase 4 film, right? And before it kind of got like pushed. I really like how we got our villain to be like a con man. Like nothing was legit, and he was just after it for vengeance.
Yeah,
I felt like that was something new, and yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal, just premium in that movie. And the ending, like I was shocked at the ending. Like, I remember seeing it in theaters, and I was like, "Yo, did I just see that? It was crazy."
But it was like a double whammy of like we're getting Jay Jonah, like we're getting him, you know, and then also just like we announced who Spider-Man is. Like, holy, that was a lot to take in. That was so good. I'm blanking on his name now. Who is he? Whiplash. J. Jonah Jameson. I can't think
J.K.
of the
Simmons.
actor. J.K. Simmons. Yeah. Man, it's so good to see him back there.
So great.
Okay, Ethan.
That'll put me up. See, now we're getting cut through because we gotta pick the last of the the best of the last here. I am gonna go with Ant-Man. Actually.
Cool.
I was at a wine tasting with my cousin Ernesto, which was mainly reds, and you know I don't love reds, man. You know, but there was a rosé that saved the day. It was delightful. And he tells me about this girl Emily that we used to kick it with. It was actually the first pair of boobs that I ever touched.
It's the wrong details. It has nothing to do with the story.
I think Paul Rudd in the MCU is fantastic. That movie is hilarious. And I feel like Paul Rudd and Michael Douglas, like you can't really go wrong with that. And and yeah, it's a fun movie. And I actually just watched it for the first time like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really? Nice.
Oh, nice.
Austin, what do you have to say? Let's go.
Yep. So
homework before starting the pod.
So Ethan, I really want you to tell them how many of these movies have you recently seen for the first time?
For the first time, like in the last 24 hours, 2 of them.
Which ones?
So like I got on the MCU train pretty late, and so like I never found myself going back to Phase 1 like originals.
Mm-hmm.
And so last night or 2 nights ago, I watched The Incredible Hulk for the first time, and then this afternoon I watched Thor: The Dark World for the first time. Just because like I had never gotten to them before. But I am proud to say I'm an official MCU completionist, and I've seen them all.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
There you go.
Well done.
Welcome.
I love the Hulk. I feel like I'm one of the few people that really likes it, but I love Ed Norton. Having spent some time in Brazil, like that definitely plays to me. I don't know. I think it's great. I'm excited we're getting Tim Roth back. Like I can't wait to see what he's gonna do in She-Hulk. He's gonna be great. Okay. I'm taking one that probably will be around in round 4, but it's the next one for me in my list.
Don't do it. Don't you do it.
It's probably not what you want. I'm taking Age of Ultron.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I'm like, you're fine. Don't worry. Nobody wants this movie. But I love this movie. I do know for a fact that we saw this together, Tyler, because we were in California working.
Yes, that's true.
Do you remember that?
I do
know
remember.
I'm 1 for 3. I'm 1 for 3 on memories. But I know we went and saw Ultron together at that super cool theater. So I don't know. I know it doesn't get love, but I just think like, I mean, James Spader, number 1, is great.
Yeah.
That lifting Mjolnir scene is like top 5 all time
So
for
funny.
me in the MCU.
Yeah.
Like it's hilarious. It's so good. I think it's just like less. I put this in my letterbox, but it's like it's less of a full movie and more of just like a compilation of really cool scenes that are just like it's like kind of like a highlight reel, but like I don't know. Plus we get Vision, we get Wanda, we get Pietro. Like there's so much stuff. Like this is the first time we hear about Wakanda because we meet Claw. Like there's so much that happens in Ultron. I know it's kind of a mess, but it's like I love it so much. So yeah, gonna lock in then with Ultron for number 3.
All right.
I mean,
well,
you could also say it's like really a good, simple build up to Civil War, because if that whole situation with Sokovia doesn't happen, then we don't get anything in the future. Like if they're able to stop it and everything's fine, then we're good.
Yeah, it's a really good point. There would be no accords, none of that stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, and I like that build up. Like they were actually met with a challenge that didn't have an easy answer.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like around that time there was like something in the water in Hollywood where there was starting to be like a backlash in the screenwriting towards comic book movies, because I feel like Superman did this, or like the Superman and Batman did this, where they start talking about like the dangers of the superheroes. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if it's just like the natural progression of the story, or if it was just like a trend that caught wind in Hollywood or something. But I started noticing it, and I think that's why I didn't like Ultron, because I don't want to think about that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like I want to watch Hulk smash, and I want to watch Iron Man fly around and do cool shit.
I don't want to hear about Tony Stark's God complex.
Right?
Exactly.
But yeah, hearing Spader was really cool. He's a really cool voice for a villain, and like, you know, now we get WandaVision because of it, and we get all sorts of other stuff. So you're right, it's like super important to like the, you know, where the MCU ended up going, but I think I was just like, don't make me think about this. Just let me,
And Hawkeye finally got some screen time without being a zombie, so that's good for him, you know? Yeah.
All right. Well, so I thought you were going to take Doctor Strange because it's one that doesn't get a lot of love from everyone, but it's one of my favorites. So that'll be my number, 3 pick?
Number 3, yeah.
Number 3 pick. And since it's still available, he's my favorite Avenger, and it's still on the board, I'm going to take Thor. The original
Okay,
Thor.
nice.
This drink, I like it.
I know, it's great, right?
Another!
Yeah, I don't know why. He's just always been my favorite Avenger. It's got the OG Mount Crushmore for me, Natalie Portman. And yeah, I don't know. I've always loved that movie. I've always loved the character of Thor. So yeah, I'll take that. That'll round out my draft there.
My household is Thor fans. My roommate has like a Thor like Mjolnir like tattoo with like his helmet and stuff like that on his leg and stuff like that. So well, good company.
That's awesome. My hardest part with that movie is the blonde eyebrows, just like the way he looks. Like that's the only thing is they hadn't figured out his look yet, you know. But other than that, I think it's a super fun movie.
The beer scene is so good.
It's classic, man. I love it.
Right.
Or I'll have another and like smash the mug. Like, yeah, so good.
And like, you know, blonde eyebrows or not, that man is a dreamboat. So I won't have you slander him on my podcast, Ben.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Well, shit. Okay. Part of me really wants to take Hulk right now, but I think I need to get
Do it, Ben. Go right ahead.
I know, yeah. So like, yeah, please. None of us want it, so go ahead. But I think I'm gonna go higher, further, faster. I'm taking Captain Marvel with my fourth pick.
I like that pick.
Yeah.
That movie had like a lot of expectations, I think, that was gonna be hard to live up to. But I still really like the film. Like I enjoy the film. I think that's one of the funniest Stanley cameos when he's reading the Mallrats script, right? Yeah. Just like the technology of the Sam Jackson stuff. And I think Brie Larson was great. Like I don't know. I really enjoyed the movie. We get I think you guys talked about this in your episode, but kind of the Skrull invasion. Like it's kind of nice to get that revealed because that just opens up so many possibilities for this next phase. So, and the original J Law. I mean, you can't go wrong. If you get the original and the best J Law in your movie,
that's
you're
right.
Get picked, so.
Yeah. Do we? So my only concern, and I don't know, I only say concern for lack of a better word, but she like Captain Marvel sort of has like the Superman problem to me in that she's like seems invincible.
Yeah.
So like, what stakes are there? Or like how compelling is it? I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? I'm curious how the guys from the other pod feel. I don't care what you guys think about it. But yeah, Ethan, I'm curious. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you know, and I feel like that's a big talking point for Endgame as well. Like she can just go like toe to toe with Thanos and like no issues whatsoever. I do see that being a character flaw, but it's also like incredibly badass. And like you just can't like what are you gonna do? Like that's just super sick. I've always loved Captain Marvel as a movie, and I know it. You know, it had its whole dramatic embargo lift and ratings bombs and all that jazz. But I think Brie Larson is excellent, and I think
for sure.
I don't think that there's another superhero like her in the MCU until she came along, because everybody else has very significant flaws, and like Tony probably being the closest, but his ego is just too crazy, and so you get someone that is like kind of the complete package.
For sure, I do like the idea that her battle with Thanos was such an afterthought to her that whatever else she's dealing with must be bananas.
Right.
So I'm curious to see where they take that. Because I mean, think about it. She came in and she just like dust off her shoulder, took care of Thanos. Was like, you guys got this from here? All right. I'll see you later. I got bigger fish to fry. And it's like, bigger fish to fry than fucking Thanos? Like, the guy wiped out half of existence with a finger snap, you know?
It's like, my mom died. I'm sorry this doesn't matter to you.
Sorry, Captain Marvel. Yeah. I don't know. I'm interested in it. It's always been sort of like a double-edged sword because I do think on one hand, it's cool to think of the possibilities, but on the other hand, it's like, it's kind of boring. Like, she can just win, you know? So, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious where they go with Captain Marvel too, but I do love that they referenced her in WandaVision and just said like, yeah, our two strongest, Avengers are Scarlet Witch and Captain Marvel. So I like that they kind of like declared that like, yes, these two are the toughest out of all. Like they're the most powerful out of all of them. Like,
yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, give them a little love. That's good. But yeah, she's like, I'm just gonna take down this whole ship and end the game before I come down and help you guys. Don't worry. It's like, holy shit. Okay, yeah.
Well, awesome. WandaVision. Monica is much like Tyler. She's just like, let's not talk about Captain Marvel.
Like, no.
She's bored.
Who cares?
All right. Is it Ethan, right? Final pick?
Yep. This is my final pick. Cool. I'm really stoked. I'm going to go with Captain America, the First Avenger.
Nice.
Like the back 40 minutes of that movie is just like raw Captain America, like kicking ass.
For sure.
Like, yeah. It's awesome. And I think origin story wise, it's really funny. It's also really cool to see like a skinny skinny CGI Steve Rogers go
Yeah, man.
to like just ridiculously ripped, and like him discovering his abilities. Very cool.
Yeah, that was if Thor hadn't been available, I would have taken that one. I had zero expectation going into that movie. In fact, I expected it to suck, but not in a way that I was gonna let it affect how I thought about it watching it. But I was completely blown away. I was like, "Whoa, that was badass!" Like I didn't know anything about Captain America. I thought he was corny. You know, like who wants a guy wearing the American flag running around? Like I don't know. It just seemed like this weird patriotic, corny thing. And it ended up being so badass and being one of the, better characters in the whole MCU. So yeah, that's
one that definitely got better for me on like the second viewing. Like after I saw it in the theater, I was like, I don't like that was cool. I don't know, you know what I mean? Like it was fine, but watching it again, I was like, oh, it's a really good like you said, setting stuff up, like setting up Bucky and Red Skull. I think it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how cool go ahead.
You get a lot of talking points in that movie that carry throughout the entire MCU of like him jumping on the grenade or him and Bucky, like you said, like taking all the trouble with him type situation, where that relationship, like if we don't see that relationship form, a lot of like future MCU stuff falls apart.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
And Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
Solid. Good.
I mean, I love the Bucky arc just across the MCU. Like, how cool is it that a guy who's like, everyone sees like that one guy who dies in a war movie, but he comes back as like a super villain and then ends up joining like the superheroes. Like that's such a cool story arc. And it's awesome that he's in that first
He's
one.
an extremely important part of the MCU too. Like he causes the Civil War in a lot of ways, in a roundabout way. And yeah, he's it's a really, it's great. Good job, Winter Soldier.
Speaking of, I want to know what you guys think, everyone. With the Mjolnir scene from Ultron, Cap moves it, obviously. Where do you guys fall on this? Do you think like he didn't lift it up because he didn't want to embarrass Thor? Like he could have done it? Do you think like my thoughts tie into Bucky because the idea that like he knew what Bucky had done to Tony's parents and hadn't told Tony, so he wasn't like completely worthy because he had some like secret that he was keeping, but everything else about him was worthy. That's why he got to like move it just a little bit. Like where do you guys stand on this? Do you think Cap could have lifted it then and just didn't do it, or he genuinely couldn't lift it up?
I think he couldn't. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't think he could at the time.
Yeah, I agree with Austin only because I never thought about that before, and so I just was like, oh no, he just can't do it because he's not quite there, whatever. So I don't think he could do it.
Yeah, I think it also plays into the fact of Civil War. So like he knew what happened to Tony's parents, and that's one thing. But the fact that like he is choosing to go against all of these friends of his, like on an ethics and a morals basis, at least eats up some part of himself and his confidence and his judgment and his worthiness. So I feel like he had too much on his plate at the time, and maybe he could drop it for like that millisecond that he moved it.
Yeah.
But it was way too much to get rid of to be able to lift the entire thing.
I like it. How about you, Matt?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go against the grain here. I think he could move it. I don't think he thought that he could move it. I think when he needed to use it, I think he was able to wield it in like a time of need.
Okay.
But I think like if you compare the character Steve Rogers to Thor, I think he's like way more of a pure in heart, like a way more pure and worthy character than Thor is. So and maybe the baggage should have something to do with that, but I'm kind of an all or nothing person where it's like if you can move it at all, you can hold it.
And I wonder what like the definition of worthiness is, because you just made me think, actually think about being worthy and able to hold that hammer. And like is Thor's worthiness seems to be just his unabashed bravery. Like he definitely has some flaws, right? He's cocky and he's arrogant and all these other things, but he's going to fight for all he's got, and he's very brave, and he tries to do the right thing to the best of his ability. So it's interesting. Like, does the hammer like rate different levels of worthiness in different categories, different areas? I don't know.
There's also like one of my favorite scenes. This pod is just gonna become me fighting for Ultron because we get the Vision lift in Ultron where he just like hands it to Thor and everyone freaks the fuck out. Like, oh my god. Like, and like, so his, I think, worthiness is just like Vision will always like calculated do what is the best thing. That's just how he functions. Like, this is the best option. This is what we're going with. And so he could lift the hammer. So yeah, I don't know. I think it just like knows the person, you know? So I don't know. I think it's a
cool little character device.
Yeah.
We'll put that on an Instagram poll as well.
Yeah. I think it'll be good.
That was a great question.
3 films in Age of Ultron. So we're going to change the name of this pod too.
Please watch Age of Ultron.
Please watch it, please. I need friends. All right, Matt.
Okay.
5 to choose from. What are you going to do?
This movie gets clowned on. People don't like it. They think it's the weakest of the Iron Mans. Actually, I think people unanimously think that Iron Man 2 is the weakest. But I'm going to go with Iron Man 3. I think people were disappointed in the subverted expectations of Mandarin and kind of what he was and the role he played in that. But when I think about like the premise of Iron Man 3, I just think it's so cool that like it's basically a depowered Tony Stark in a garage with a kid.
Yeah.
You know, and that's such a cool concept, especially from like I think what Marvel's done really well is taken unique stories and genres and just like applied superheroes around them. And so it's not your typical superhero movie by any means, but I will always love that van scene where I can't remember the character's name. So I'm just going to say Garrett, but he's like, Tony needs Garrett. And the guy's like, and Garrett needs Tony.
I need you to jump on the roof, right? Recalibrate the ISDNs. Pump it up by about 40%.
Got it.
All right, it's a mission.
Yeah.
Tony needs Gary.
And Gary needs Tony.
Be quiet about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the weirdest one to see at the funeral in Endgame. I was like, who is that person?
I know, I had forgotten.
So
I think I saw it the once, but I did enjoy it. I liked it more than most did.
I loved the reveal. I mean, this was the Shane Black one, right? Iron Man 3. Yeah, I thought the reveal worked super well. Like, I love Ben Kingsley, so I think that all worked wonderfully. Do they get in the fight at the party in this one? Iron Man and I can't think of John Cheadle's
I haven't
character
seen
name.
this since it came out.
Is that this one where they get in the fight at the party, or is
I
that?
think so.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I enjoyed that.
I need to
scene.
watch it again.
I do know that this movie has Elon Musk in it, so that's a big W.
Oh, I don't remember him being in this. That's awesome. Okay, Austin.
Bring it home.
Yeah.
All right. You know, with the 4 options left, I mean, Iron Man 2, Ant-Man, the Wasp, Thor in the Dark World, and Incredible Hulk. I think I'm going to go with Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
I think it's just, you know, it's everything that created the quantum realm. Like it leads to the Avengers Endgame and everything like that. So, I think it's just a good progress movie.
For sure. Michelle Pfeiffer, which is great. That's another one, kind of like Age of Ultron. I don't know if you guys have heard me talk about this, but
it's a really good one.
Have you been talking about that?
I don't know if I mentioned it yet or not. But
did anyone take that one? Did anyone pick Ultron?
Did anyone take that yet?
Yeah, number 1 overall.
My God, like the worst take, but I would have loved to do that. Yeah, but it's just like, it's important. Like you said, the quantum realm, all that kind of stuff. That's the one with the teaser 2 at the end, right? Where they're like on top of the parking garage.
Yeah.
That's one of the best teasers. I love that. Sweet. Well, let's recap what people picked here. Austin went with Infinity War, Iron Man, Homecoming, and Ant-Man and the Wasp. Matt with the original Avengers, Guardians 2, Far From Home, and Iron Man 3. Ethan got Ragnarok, Endgame, Ant-Man, and First Avenger. I took my beloved Guardians, Winter Soldier, Age of Ultron. We haven't really talked about that yet, but I got that with the 3rd pick. And Captain Marvel. And then, Tyler closing out with Civil War, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, and Thor. I think these are all solid drafts, to be honest. Like we talked about, there's not really awful movies here to pick from.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because it's like, obviously all 5 of us like all of these, like this world. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. Give me the worst piece of pizza. That's fine. Like, it's still
I will take the room temp pizza from last night.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's all good.
Totally
I feel like everybody has a sleeper pick on their drafts.
Mhm.
Like you can really vouch for like a Doctor Strange or an Iron Man 3. Like you could set up a solid argument of why it deserved to be drafted. And I feel like everybody like came good.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that was to do like, you know, Ben took Guardians. I mean, it deserved to go pretty early, but I think you would have taken that maybe with your first pick because I know it's your favorite movie. So
yeah,
like personality kind of goes into that too, which is I'm starting to learn is my favorite thing about doing these drafts is because you kind of paint a picture of the person that picks all the movies. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can see what their stuff was, what they picked and how it like reflects their taste. I wanted to talk briefly about what is coming up. We've already broken the no TV rule, so let's just open the floodgates here. But Marvel, I mean, that Disney announcement thing they had the other day, they announced like 20 new things, something like that. Like there's just like between all the movies and TV shows. I'm kind of curious to hear what you guys are looking forward to the most. Austin, do you want to kick us off with that?
Actually, I'm gonna pass this off to Ethan real fast. I gotta think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, like this year, I've got to go with Spider-Man 3. Like I'm ride or die with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
All of the rumors that have come out for Spider-Man 3 of like these, like 25 people are in it, and it's going to be a live Spider-Verse, and et cetera, et cetera. I don't see all of those being true, but like I think Spider-Man 3 is going to be like a massive movie for the MCU.
For sure.
Based on how the last like Spider-Man ended and what we know. But like it's so hard not to be excited for like Thor Love and Thunder or like personally I'm super stoked for Ironheart on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah.
No release date. We don't know anything. Basically, we don't know anything. We know like who's playing Ironheart. But like I'm a big fan of the comic run, even though it was rather short, and I feel like she can really like introduce us to the new wave of like Stark-like technology, and her with Young Avengers coming up, or like set up for Young Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like everything's just gonna slap. It's ridiculous.
So I stay purposely ignorant of like what's coming out because I don't know. I feel like expectation has a tendency to ruin my experience with movies a lot of times, or just if not ruin, like greatly alter how I enjoy a movie. So I try to stay in the dark, but I'm curious, and I feel like you would know this. When is the Spider-Man movie supposed to come out?
It's supposed to come out in December of this year.
So, because I'm trying to think of like potential timelines, assuming we get, our shit together and get vaccinated and get to the virus under control to a point where we can come out. Because with you saying it's going to be a huge release, I'm just wondering if like the culmination of being free again and then this movie coming out, I'm wondering what that's going to do to some box office records or, change how a movie performs. And I can see that happening with a movie like Spider-Man, for sure.
Yeah, even if half those rumors are true, it's going to be amazing.
They're really cashing in on like so many aspects of Spider-Man nostalgia of like if they're actually getting like some Raimi material and putting it in there.
Yeah.
And then you have everybody that's invested in like the animated Spider-Verse. And like everybody knows that we're getting multiverses and like what all of that is happening. It just has like all of the ingredients to be the perfect culmination, and like, yeah, getting back out, seeing a movie, like the perfect culmination of everything to just like absolutely explode. Obviously all of that hinges on, does it come out this year?
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows?
Because they got Black Widow in the can. I think Eternals is done filming. Like they have some other stuff that was supposed to be out, before this. So who knows, like the backlog we have. And they don't seem to be wanting to put any of the MCU movies on Disney Plus, which I don't necessarily fault them for. Like selfishly, I would just love to watch Black Widow right now, but
yeah.
I get them wanting to like wait to release it in theaters. So I'm just kind of curious how much this backs up, because Thor Love and Thunder's like filming right now. There's going to be so much to come out. So we're going to go from 2 years with no Marvel movies to 7 movies in 1 year or something like that's gonna be absurd. But
I think it could be actually really beneficial for the MCU though. Like one of the major questions after Endgame and Far From Home was like, do people have MCU fatigue? Like, are people getting overdosed on superheroes because we're getting 2 or 3 a year?
Yeah.
And that forcefully they had to take a break, and so now people are like you said, Ben, like, I will pay anything. Just let me watch Black Widow.
I will watch Age of Ultron over and over again.
I need Marvel. So like, I feel like it could really play into Marvel's hands, and just with all the rumors and like everything they're getting out with Taika directing another and Sam Raimi directing something and John Watts continuing to direct Spider-Man. Like, I just feel like they're crushing it with the decisions.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Speaking
sweet.
of MCU fatigue, Austin, do you think it's more about, is it like, comic book movie fatigue, or is it more we were just kind of over the Avengers story?
I think how I see it is everyone, like, it was being built up to the end game.
Right.
And now it's like in this transition spot. And so the people that are like, they see Endgame as literally, I think, the last of the movies because they don't know if it's going to be good, if it's still going to grasp that same aspect that the Avengers series did.
Right.
So I think it's just more or less people are just curious as to where the story is going to go. I could also see a big fatigue happening if we have 7 movies in 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's just a lot of movies where people are like, oh, I just saw that, like, one of the series already. So
yeah, I mean, that's, a little bit over a movie every other month, if you can. I don't know what everyone's financial situation's like, but not everyone can just shell out all the cash to go to the theater. So it's like, if you go to the theater 6 times in a year and every time you go, you see that Marvel opening, credit scroll, I could see it getting a little old, but I don't know. I kind of think it might have just been like the Avengers storyline. We were just kind of ready to be done with it. And I loved it, but I was still kind of like, all right, I'm kind of ready for like a new thing.
Well, a little fun fact about like the Great Depression era, when like people after that, they went to go see movies a bunch because that was the one escape that they had from the stuff that was happening in their life.
True.
So that could be very well what could happen after all this stuff with COVID.
Yeah, people are ready to get out of the house. I know I am.
What about you, Austin? Were you able to kind of think about what you're looking forward to?
It's coming down to 2 things. I'm excited for the Eternals, and I'm excited for Doctor Strange too.
Nice.
Both for different reasons. I'm hoping the Eternals gives you that Guardians of the Galaxy feel to it. A whole brand new like team of people that you don't really know and all that stuff. So that's something that I feel like I'm very interested in. And also like the cast of it is just phenomenal. You got a bunch of ex Game of Thrones people, you got some really up and comers and whatnot. So
yeah, Hakumail.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting series. But then also Doctor Strange 2, because it's gonna be the first horror film for the Marvel series.
Oh no, I hate horror movies.
But it's Sam Raimi horror. It's it'll be all right.
Building up for Blade.
Well, like, it's Disney. Like, when does Disney do horror movies? Like, I want to see what Disney thinks is a horror movie.
Fair enough.
It'll be fun.
Like, is it like the old-fashioned like Fantasia? Like like they have like the scary scenes in that. Like
Doctor Strange in a haunted mansion.
Just Ichabod and Mr. Crane, just like scary trees, but. Sweet. Yeah, I think I'm looking forward to both of those as well. I mean, I think we're all just looking forward to everything, but Eternals, I mean, you guys put the question out on your guys' pod, and that's what I responded with. It's like, I can't wait for the Eternals. I think it's the number one thing I'm looking forward to. Close number 2, just because I love Oscar Isaac, is Moon Knight, like for that TV series. Like, I think it's going to be super fun. I don't even care. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, it's Marvel and Oscar Isaac. Cool. I'm in. Like, let's do it. That's great. That's all I needed to hear.
With Ethan Hawke coming into Moon Knight too, like that show is gonna be amazing.
Yeah, there's so much good stuff.
It's just gonna be so good.
I'm so in the dark here. I'm like, I don't even know what
I
you
feel
guys
like we're
are talking
ruining it for you. I didn't realize you were trying to avoid all this. I'm
No,
like,
it's
let's
cool.
all
I
ruin
don't
this.
mind if I hear about it, but I don't
Yeah.
seek it out. You know,
That
what
makes
I mean?
sense. Yeah. What about you, Matt? What are you looking forward to the most?
Ooh, I mean, since it's done and I'm just antsy to watch it, Black Widow. I think ScarJo got her movie like 6 years too late.
Yeah.
But I think they're doing something cool with it, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, I'm excited about everything that's already been said. A couple other things that I'm excited about is Jonathan Majors as King the Conqueror.
Yes. Ant-Man 3, right? Yeah.
Can't wait to see how that rolls out. Jonathan Majors is awesome.
So good.
And then I loved the tease for the Fantastic Four. Like I can't wait to see that done right.
We were just talking about it the other day because I revisited Homecoming. I was like, man, I wasn't sure about John Watts taking on Fantastic Four, but after watching Homecoming, it's like this dude knows how to like set up an origin story, so to speak. Like I'm ready. I think it's gonna be great. I'm curious how they're gonna cast. I think everything ever just has like John Krasinski as Reed Richards. You know, it's like, so are they gonna follow through with this, or are we gonna get someone different? Who knows at this point? But
yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Tyler, of the stuff that you are aware of, what are you looking forward to?
Blade.
I'm excited to see how the Disney horror universe brings back Blade. Imagine Disney owning Blade. That'd be awesome. I mean, easy answer for me would be the next Thor movie. He's my favorite, and yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm gonna go see all of these. So it's like if the next time I see the new Marvel movie coming out, I'll make plans to see it. But I think the one I'm looking forward to most would be the next Thor for sure.
It's gonna be so good. Probably get some Guardians in there considering the way Endgame left off, so that'll be a great team up. So cool. Well, you guys, thank you so much for joining us on this. I had a blast. Like, this is obviously, I think we're all MCU fans here, so this was I think a blast for everybody. Do you guys want to let people know where they can find you on Instagram, whatever, your podcast Final Take in 15 minutes?
Yeah, we are on Twitter and Instagram at Final Take Pod. That's our main podcast, and then I have my Marvel podcast at 15 Minute Marvel. So that drops every Tuesday and Friday, just 15 minutes, and then our Final Take podcast drops every Monday morning. Go check us out. Go follow us on social, and send us your final takes, please. Like you guys do. Like, we need people to send us their hot takes.
It's great to like interact with you guys. Like when I threw out that Wes Anderson question, it was so cool to like hear you guys talk about that on the pod. So I mean, that's the same thing we're trying to do here. You know, just like create this community, get talking to people, and just get everybody involved. I think everyone's goal here is just to get people to watch movies and talk about it. You know.
Yeah.
It's the best we can do. But thank you guys again so much. I just want to thank everyone that's listening. Like and subscribe. Go check them out. Like, we've been listening to them for a while now, so I'll highly recommend it. You can find our stuff at our website, our Patreon. All of our social links are there. So again, thank you guys for joining us. Everybody, thank you for listening, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dude, how long have you been standing there?
An hour.
An hour?
Are you serious?
I've mastered the ability of standing so incredibly still that I've become invisible to the eye. Watch.
You're eating a Zarg nut.
But my movement was so slow that it's imperceptible.
No.
I'm sure I'm invisible.
Hi, Drax.